mainly foosball with our guy Pep. What's going on, Pep?
Hey, good morning, everybody. To all the Rams fans out there, relax. Relax. You did what you were supposed to against a not very good Jacksonville team. You hammered them 37-7. Matt Stafford looked great. OBJ caught a touchdown. Cooper Kupp is still one of the best receivers in the game. Relax. It's Monday. Relax. You're back on track. The Rams are 8-4 right now, and still making a push to not only win maybe a division title if Arizona can slip up, and still one of the top teams in the NFC. Just relax on a Monday.
Woody, I think it was good to see Stafford play well. That's what everyone was so worried about. If he had another stinker game, it would be worrisome.
And Pep was saying, you did what you needed to do against Jacksonville, yeah, so you could always say that, but so much better to win that game the way you're supposed to, whereas if you were to lose that game, the world would be falling apart right now.
I know it's easy to say, oh, it's just Jacksonville, but you were supposed to beat him. You did, so you move on.
You're right.
Yeah, win the games that you're supposed to win, right? Especially when you're at home, you're on a 3-game losing streak. Just beat Jacksonville. Put all the naysayers behind you. Look forward. You're still pushing ahead. You know, the probability of the Rams making the playoffs are really, really high still, but they could still, depending on what Arizona does, they could still win a division title. It's going to be really hard for them to get home field advantage in the NFC, but it can happen, and they did what they were supposed to do. They beat Jacksonville on Sunday. Now, also in the NFC, we had the 49ers lose to your Seahawks, Patrick. You know, I thought the 49ers were coming on strong, man. I was all about the 49er train saying, hey, they're going to make this push. They got a great defense. Jimmy G's going to turn things around. And then they go and they lay an egg on the road. And the 49ers at 6-6, and they're right there on the bubble of being that number 7 seed in the NFC for the playoffs. It doesn't look good.
Russell Wilson finally shows up and looks like normal Russell Wilson. It was a turnover battle. There must have been 7 or 8 turnovers, and I think we should have known that it was going to be a weird game when on the opening kickoff, they had to stop the game and bring out the ambulance because the guy had a concussion. Thank God. I think everyone was thinking it was a neck or a paralyzation thing because they put him on the board, and that's always a scary thing. Right. But I guess it was just a concussion. So Mr. Cannon, I believe is his name, your returner, is going to be okay, which is really cool. But it's always a bad thing. When you see the ambulance from the Seattle Fire Department out on the field, I was like, oh, no. And you stop the game. Both teams very concerned. So that was the start of the game. And then 49er players are dropping like flies. And then both teams could not stop turning the ball over.
Yeah, it's like each team was just trying to give it away. Nobody wanted to take it, right? But they each had those moments. And now the 49ers, again, man, they're on the bubble. They're on the cusp right now. Like, are they going to get in the playoffs? Are they the number 7 seed? And then also in the NFC, we saw the Washington football team beat the Raiders 17-15. So now the Raiders are in last place in the AFC West. But speaking of Washington, you wanted to see them lose right now because Washington's making a playoff push.
Yeah, anybody in the NFC East, I want to see lose right now. So my Eagles are, I think right now we are a wild card team. We are one of the 3 wild card teams, but we'll see how this goes.
He likes his new quarterback, Mr. Minshew. It's Minshew time over there in Philly.
Santa delivered an early Christmas present to Philly in the form of Gardner Minshew.
It could get interesting over there in the East.
You know what's funny is like when people tweet about Gardner Minshew, it's not like him in his football uniform with his helmet on or whatever. No, it's always like Gardner with a mullet and a big mustache wearing no shirt and like a Levi's denim jacket. Like it's never like a serious real football picture. It's always something wacky with Gardner Minshew.
First thing I see before the game is I'm like checking my fantasy team is like Fox Sports or Pro Football Talk puts up a picture of him and he's in his Maverick jacket like from Top Gun. And it just says, "Talk to me, Goose." Legend.
Yeah, the rumors started to swirl like late last week that maybe Jalen Hurts' ankle was going to keep him out of the game, and I don't think there was anybody more excited than me about that.
No, and it turned out to work out.
Now I just hope that we have our bye. We're going into the bye week for the Eagles, so I'm hoping that during this bye week they can maybe convince themselves to make Gardner the starter going forward.
Jalen, that knee. It's killing you.
Yeah, and Minshew mania, that magic of Minshew might be back. We'll see if the Eagles can still have enough time, enough games to make this happen and get to the playoffs. We'll see.
His only start as an Eagle, and he's got a better quarterback rating than Jalen Hurts has ever had.
He's a slinger. He can sling that ball.
The greatest Eagle of all time. We'll just crown him, Gardner Minshew.
We love crowning champions.
Yes. Hey, guys, like the Rams, like we're telling everyone to relax on this Monday morning. Hey, if you're a Chargers fan, relax. They hammered Cincinnati 41-22, and it wasn't too long ago we were talking about the Bengals maybe being the best team in the AFC, right? It wasn't that long ago we were saying Cincinnati is that good, dude, and the Chargers gave it to them.
The Chargers did finally eventually blow them out. This was a really tight game, and I actually thought the Bengals were going to be the one to kind of turn the tide on them. And then did you see Joe Burrow? I don't know if he broke his pinky on his throwing hand, but he hammered that thing. And then the Bengals started faltering from then on. And then you're right, then the Chargers did take over. So, oof.
And the Chargers one game behind the Chiefs, who they looked good up against the Broncos, which the Broncos, kind of looking like the bottom of that division.
Yeah,
But
and you know what? Yeah, I mean the Chiefs are at 8-4, and we could segue right into Monday Night Football because it's a huge game on Monday Night Football. Patriots and Bills. The Patriots, 8-4. Kansas City's 8-4. Like the AFC is still definitely up for grabs in terms of home field advantage, the number one seed, all those sorts of things. Huge game on Monday Night Football, and we'll see if New England is the real deal. This is a divisional game for them playing Buffalo, and New England might be that best team in the AFC. Maybe it's Kansas City. Maybe the Chargers could sneak up, but this is a big game.
Man, if New England wins this game, we need to start considering Mr. Mac Jones. Mr. Serious Business. This is his rookie year.
It's funny as we're getting into starting to paint the playoff picture now. I've heard after this weekend we have eliminated one official team. And it's not the Lions, and it's not the Jaguars.
What?
I believe the Houston Texans are the only team that is now eliminated from the playoffs.
That's a victory for the Lions.
So mathematically, the Houston Texans are out on this Monday morning?
That's what I've heard, but they're not sure whether or not the Lions are or not. Yeah. They're trying to figure it all out because I think it was CBS Sports put up the board last week about everything that needed to happen to get the Lions in. They pulled off the win like they needed to, but I think they were saying the Eagles and the football team winning were things that went against their thing, but they're not sure if that totally eliminates them or not. It's still fuzzy right now.
And they have the tie. That's not a loss.
Right.
Well, we all know the Detroit Lions are a second half of the season kind of team, man. They're gonna take the NFL by storm. They did get their first win against Minnesota yesterday, 29-27, despite actually a really great game from our guy, Alexander Madison from San Bernardino High School, the pride of Cardinal City, 90 yards on the ground, a touchdown. Not enough as the Vikings lose to Detroit 29-27. So win number one for the Lions. Here they come.
There go Jared Goff.
There go the Vikings.
Yeah, that's right, Jared Goff. I forgot about that guy. To the college football, the bowl games came out yesterday, guys, and now we know what the college football semifinals are going to look like. It'll be Alabama taking on Cincinnati in the Cotton Bowl. We've got Michigan taking on Georgia in the Orange Bowl. Those two winners will meet for the national championship.
Obviously, the big news on this one is Cincinnati getting in over a team like, say, Ohio State, for example.
Now, I don't follow college football as closely as you guys do. What are your predictions for what the national title is going to be? Who's going to be playing that game?
Cincinnati is obviously kind of set up to get their head kicked in here, but if they need to show up and do some things well. If they don't, they're going to get hammered for not deserving to be. I think they're going to get their faces kicked in, is what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I like Alabama in that one too, and you're right, Patrick. If Alabama wins by like 30 or 40, so everyone's going to say, well, you should at least give, I don't know, Notre Dame a shot, or give Ohio State another shot, or give somebody else a chance against mighty Alabama. But yeah, I like Alabama in that one. And on the other side, this is my unpopular opinion. Don't at me on Twitter. I like Michigan over Georgia. I think Michigan versus Alabama sounds like a really juicy national title game.
40. I was telling you, can you imagine if Michigan and Jim Harbaugh win the national title?
Ooh.
All props to him, man.
Dude, what a season, right?
They wanted to fire him.
Yeah, from the hot seat to beating Ohio State to getting in the national, semifinals. And if he could take it all the way, this would be one of those historic seasons for Michigan football and, of course, Jim Harbaugh, man. The other two bowl games I quickly wanted to point it out, the Rose Bowl. It's Utah against the Ohio State in Pasadena. That's the Rose Bowl. And then the Holiday Bowl, UCLA gets a bowl game. UCLA will take on North Carolina State. That's the Holiday Bowl in San Diego.
Now, quickly, before we get you out of here, Believe it or not, Chip Kelly was hammered at his press conference about the opening at Oregon, and he got real salty with the reporter, and they went back and forth. He's like, I don't have to discuss my contract with you, blah, blah, blah. The rumor is even though he is doing okay at UCLA,
Right.
is the setup better back at Oregon? Will he go for it? Will we know? I just wanted to point that out at the press conference. He didn't take it so well.
Well, going forward, it does seem like USC is going to be a powerhouse now.
Right. Should he get out?
Maybe his chance to win is better in Oregon than it is in UCLA.
Does he need his Nike money back?
Yeah. You're right. Oregon might be set up to win right now as opposed to UCLA. And who knows? I mean, Chip Kelly leaving, if the Oregon coach leaves, I guess it's possible.
We'll have to see what happens because Miami is lurking around. This is going to be something. Stuff is going to happen in college football. There's coaches going everywhere.
College football has been so dramatic.
Very dramatic this year, just like our sports with Pep. Tell me how to get your stuff.
It's Inland Sports. It's drama-free most of the time. It's Inland Sports on social media, the Inland Sports YouTube channel as well. If you're down with college football, check it out.
Thanks, Pep.